Will Godforge be a successful game? That is the big question that a lot of us are asking ourselves right now. What's up guys, Ramsey here, back for another Godforge video. In today's video, I would like to talk about all the great things and great features Godforge is bringing to the table and why they will help the game be successful. But also I want to talk about some of the stuff that I'm a bit worried about and that they potentially need to fix or improve to make sure they are successful. And I would love y'all's opinion in the comments down below. See if you agree with me or disagree, or if you have any other ideas. Let's get into it. So obviously the game is not out yet. It's coming out in about a month, hopefully, unless there are some delays. And right now, while we wait, we have the Godforge Quest minigame. Of course, you can get a free legendary that will get transferred onto your account. So really fun little mini game to do while we wait. So obviously I don't have the game itself available. What is Godforge doing well in my opinion? So the first thing I'm super excited about is really the core game. You know, way back then they wanted to do one of those things, like I think Watcher of Realm, for instance, is doing something similar where you have the you just have that really like top view of your champions, and you have a board. You have a board where you have to like position your champions and stuff. And I personally hated that. And back then when they announced that, I was like, well, I'm never playing this game then. And then they went back on the decision and decided, nope, we're not doing this anymore. We're doing more like Red Shadow Legend experience where, you know, you're doing wave bosses and you have, you know, a couple camera angles, but you don't have that. You still have to position your heroes, of course, in a certain order. Very important, especially when you do ally attack and all that stuff. But nothing like a board where you have to really position them and all that stuff. So that obviously, you know, makes the game in its core be very similar to Raid Shadow Legends, which is what I've been playing for the past 6+ years. I'm not going to talk about it again, but you know, I've been a content creator for Raid for 6 years. I have a massive account, all that stuff. But anyway, so just for that, I'm super excited. You know, it is going to be in the same genre of Raid Shadow Legends. So super excited to have at its core in the game mechanics something very similar. It's obviously the goal of Godforge. Couple of things that are super excited about this game though. The content, obviously they showed us a lot of the content that looks really good in terms of the clan boss. The clan boss looks amazing. Some of the dungeons they showed us. They also have the chaos and order towers, which look super fun as well. So really good content. They're bringing the imprint system, which I think is going to be the highlight of this game. The imprint system, basically you can take a passive from a champion, you can put it on the weapon, and then equip that weapon on the same champion to, you know, double down on the passive and the imprint, or put it on another champion. And you can basically take the passive from a champion and put it on another champion. So in terms of build crafting, the possibilities are going to be endless. We're probably going to break the game at the beginning when the game release during the early access, and they'll have to fix a few things, but I think it's an amazing feature. Compared to Raid, again, they just from alpha, they had so many quality of life improvement that we don't see in other games. So I know when the game's out, it's going to be even better. They bring an amazing duplicate system as well when you do your summons, because the awakening of champions is going to be very important in this game. Not only it's going to give you some bonus stats, but it's going to really improve some of the abilities of the champions and the passive and all that stuff. So awakening is really cool, is really important. And they're bringing a system where, you know, every so often when you summon, you get a specific resource that you can then spend to choose a duplicate of a champion you already have. So for instance, here I have Athena, you know, and it may take a couple months of summoning, of course, but I can just pick Athena a couple times until I have her fully awakened. So a lot of really cool feature like this one. So very excited about the game. You know, just if you do something that's similar to Raid, but obviously the art direction is completely different, but it's similar in the core gameplay and core mechanics of the game, but you bring a lot of new features, quality of life improvement. I'm very happy with that and very excited, especially if the monetization is better. Of course, the game needs to make money. It's still going to be a hero collector gacha game, so they're going to try to make a ton of money, but they've been pretty transparent. They actually posted a podcast episode last week on the Fateless channel. So they're pretty transparent about the monetization and what they're going to do, and it shouldn't be super pay to win, but a bit more pay to fast. And hopefully, for the same amount of money, if you compare to Raid, for the same amount of money, hopefully we can get a lot more bucks for our banks, whatever the thing is. But anyway, so really excited about Godforge, about who is developing the game, of course, because I know some of them from, again, content creator from Raid and all that stuff. So a lot of very exciting things, and I think the game has great potential. They've built an amazing community already. They have almost 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, thousands of people on the Discord. We a lot of us are on the Discord every single day chatting. So super excited about the game, and I think it has an amazing potential. Now, here's a few things they really need to be careful, aware about, that I think some people might just, not even give it a chance because of some of those things. First thing is going to be the graphics and the design of the heroes. Rachel Legends is the #1 game in the genre, mostly because of that. That is why I have my account pulled up right here, by the way. The design of the champions is just out of this world. It's just so freaking amazing, honestly. The champions look so good. The quality is amazing. So honestly, they need to match this, right? So during alpha, a lot of people kind of played alpha and they were like, no, we're not playing this because the game looks like crap, which during alpha it kind of did. It was on purpose. It was just kind of a technical test. Since then, they've made a lot of improvements. We've already seen previews and visuals of what the game is actually gonna look like, and it is a lot closer to that Rachel Legends level of graphics. So super excited about this, but I do hope that once the full game, we have the full game in front of us, that it is actually at that level of graphics as Raid is, because Raid is really amazing. And I do hope also the design of the heroes, maybe they step it up a little bit. The heroes look really cool, but I think they do have a lot of just like human face and people faces heroes, and they just kind of put a human face and just change the what they're wearing and the hats and all that stuff and the accessories. So but then they also have some really cool champions, like a lot of like dragons and lizards and all that stuff. So they do have a bit of both. But again, Raid, the champions look so cool. I do hope as they come out with other champions, they really go crazy in terms of design and making heroes look crazy, because the design of heroes is really the true end game. Collecting all the best heroes and the coolest looking heroes is really the end game, the true end game of that type of game. So we do want champions that look badass for sure. Now, also what I want to say is that a lot of what they're doing right now, the game is coming out in about a month, hopefully. They are changing a lot of things and adjusting and making a lot of decisions. So a lot of things is going to change, and maybe that's why right now some of the stuff is a bit confusing. So I do hope they kind of clarify everything, clean everything up, and themselves don't confuse themselves, because then it's confusing us even more. But right now, for instance, a month before the early access, which is the kind of like a soft launch of the game, there is a lot of confusion in terms of the imprints and passive. So in this game, again, you can take a passive from a champion and put it on another champion, which is crazy in terms of build crafting. But it's kind of hard to understand some of those passive or imprints that stack with themselves, because you can put if you have Anubis here, that's his passive, just a bit better, then I can put his own imprint on himself and kind of stack them. So and also seeing kind of if Anu's passive does something, can I stack Anubis imprint on Anu, and can them two stacks? So there are a lot of wording that's kind of hard to understand right now, and we're not sure a lot of the things that's stacking together. So a lot of confusion around that right now. And then I do hope they also don't make add more confusion. They keep it pretty simple. Couple things, there is a difference between, in this game they have what's called a strong attack, which is kind of different than a critical attack. So there are a lot of things that are gonna buff your strong attack, but not necessarily your critical hit. So then it's kind of hard to understand, okay, do I need 100% crit rate or do I not, because I can also do a strong attack. So there's a bit of confusion there for me, in my opinion. And then you also have couple buff and stuff that don't make ton of sense right now. Like if you take someone like Season, they added a new buff called Precision. So you do have accuracy that is going to obviously allow you to place debuff, right? But then they're adding something like Precision, that's a new buff that I think is going to help you increase your chances of doing a strong attack. It's more likely to do a strong attack, so which is not a critical attack, So a bit of confusion with a bunch of little stuff like that right now. But again, I think they are working on cleaning everything up, making everything super clear. But there are a lot of buff and debuff in the game right now. Status effect, bunch of buff, bunch of debuff, and disables, which are the control debuff. So I just want to make sure they keep it super clear. And a lot of them do multiple things. If you take out Aetherburn, it's doing 2 different things. So you do have a bunch of them that do stuff like that. This one does 2 different things as well. So, a bit of clarification when it comes to all of that other stuff, stack, buff, debuff, strong attack, all that stuff. They need to be careful to not overcomplicate things, especially with that imprint system where you can, again, take a passive, basically a smaller, weaker version of a passive of a champion, put it on a weapon, and then you have the bonus from the imprint, you have the bonus from the weapon, and then you put it on another champion for build crafting, all that stuff. So they really need to make it super clear so that there's no confusion. We understand really what stacks, how it stacks, how the, all the percentage multipliers, all that stuff, kind of at the multiplicative or additive bonuses, all that stuff. So they need to be careful, clear that up before the game goes live, in my opinion. And then my third point is back to the monetization. Again, they need to monetize the game. They need to make a lot of money, of course. But the big issue with Raid really is that for the amount of money you spend on the game, you get absolutely nothing. Everything is so expensive, and for what you spend, you get absolutely nothing. And then based on what you buy in the shop, you get layers of RNG on top of RNG, especially when you buy like gear set. Then you have to level them up. If you don't get the stat, you're screwed and you're wasting money. If you do get the stat, then you have to do like the Ascension and then the Chaos stone thing, whatever. So it's just layers of RNG on top of layers of RNG. If they can make a monetization system where people want to spend in the game because they know, oh, I'm spending $100 this month, I know I'm getting something for my $100. I'm kind of, maybe even if I'm not guaranteed something, I'm like getting some progress done. It may not be exactly what I want, but I'm getting something that's actually helping me out. So if they can find a good balance between, making us want to spend, but we actually get good stuff and like a good amount of stuff, or that let's say even the shards they have in the game is the same price as Raid, which is outrageous. The price is so expensive, but let's say that's the case. But then when you open a shard, you have more chances to get a legendary or whatever it is, so they can compensate a little bit in that way. So to me, those are the 3 things really. Really excited about the game. I think it's going to do great. Amazing potential. They're doing a great job. They just need to make sure there's no confusion with all the extra stuff they want to do, extra features, the strong attack, again, like I said, the precision buff. Make sure we understand how everything stacks together, because there's a lot of moving pieces. So if they can make all of that super clear, at least to us content creators, and then we can share with you guys, that's super important for the game to be successful. Then the graphics, make sure you get beautiful graphics, beautiful champions design to match something like Virtual Legends, and then the monetization, do better, don't be super predatory mindset, and I think the game is going to be amazing. Anyways, guys, I know I talk a lot. I hope I don't hope anything. I mean, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with me or not, and I'll see you guys in the next one.